What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we enter the Bronze Age of the Walt Disney Animation Studios, or some people call it the Dark Ages. And the first film within this portion of the filmography that we're going to discuss is from 1970, The Aristocats, featuring the voice talents of Ava Gabor, Phil Harris, Scatman Crothers, Paul Winchell, Thurl Ravenscroft, Sterling Holloway, Pat Buttram, George Lindsay, Hermione Baddeley, and Peter Renegade. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I said at the top of the show, today we enter the Bronze Age, or as some people call it, the Dark Ages of the Walt Disney Animation Studios. And over the course of these next 8 films, you're going to get quite the little hodgepodge. You're going to get 3 films that are inspired by either English folklore or English literature. You're going to get a package film, which we kind of got away from the package film era after the war when we started back up again with Cinderella in the Silver Age. You're going to get the very first, and I believe to this date, the only completely animated PG Walt Disney Animation Studios offering. And then you're going to get a couple of films that either I haven't seen or I'm just kind of on as we enter this era. This era, at least of what I'm doing this month and this year, also brings us the most films, not counting the package era, that I've never seen before. As prior to filming this, I have never seen 3 of the films that are contained within the Bronze Age, the Dark Ages. And we'll get to those as we go through. But the first one, The Aristocats, I have seen. It's part of what I like to call the Phil Harris triple feature. Yesterday's The Jungle Book, The End of the Silver Age, was the first in that set. Today, The Aristocats is the second film in that series. And then the film we'll get to tomorrow, Robin Hood, is the final in the Phil Harris triple feature. But The Aristocats opens, and our film takes place in the year 1910. The city is Paris, France, and Mother Cat Duchess and her 3 kittens, Berlioz, Toulouse, and Marie, live with their owner, a retired opera diva named Madame Adelaide Bonfamille, and her British butler, Edgar. The cats are very well taken care of, to the point where they're even pampered, and they're even very well cultured in art and music. Toulouse can paint, Berlioz is a talented pianist, and Marie can sing. Now, one day, Madame invites her lawyer, George Hotcourt, over to assist her in drawing up her will. Madame is very, very old. Judging by the animation, we don't really get a true year on her, but I'd probably say she's late 60s to early 70s, judging by her appearance. And Madame declares to George that her vast fortune will be left to the cats upon her passing. Then, once they pass away, the fortune will revert over to her loyal companion, Edgar. Edgar overhears this through a speaking tube, and after miscalculating the fact that he will die before the cats will and he can inherit, Edgar formulates a plot to eliminate the cats. He sedates them by placing sleeping pills into a dish of cream, then takes his motorcycle and drives the cats out to the countryside in a basket to just abandon them. Once in the countryside, Edgar is ambushed by Napoleon and Lafayette, 2 hound dogs. Edgar ends up losing his hat, his sidecar, his umbrella, his shoes, and his basket before being able to escape. The cats are left stranded in the countryside. Meanwhile, Madame Adelaide, Roquefort the mouse, and Frou Frou the horse discover the absence of the cats. The next morning, Duchess meets an alley cat named Thomas O'Malley, who offers to guide her and the kittens back to Paris. The group briefly hitchhikes on a milk truck, but is eventually discovered by the driver and chased out of the truck. Later on in their trek, while crossing a railroad trestle bridge, the cats are able to narrowly avoid an oncoming train, which causes Marie to fall into a river. Of course, O'Malley dives right in and rescues her, and is rescued himself by Amelia and Abigail Gabble, two British geese who are on a holiday in France. The geese help lead the cats to the outskirts of Paris and then depart themselves in order to deal with their inebriated Uncle Waldo. Meanwhile, Edgar returns to the countryside in order to retrieve his possessions, which is the only evidence that can incriminate him, from Napoleon and Lafayette, and ultimately succeeds after a brief little bit of difficulty. While traveling across the rooftops of the city, the cats eventually meet up with O'Malley's friend, Scat Cat, and his musician friends. The crew perform Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, and after the band departs, O'Malley takes Duchess to a nearby rooftop in order to converse with her while the kittens eavesdrop and listen on at the windowsill. O'Malley ends up proposing to Duchess, but she declines out of her loyalty to Madame. The next day, O'Malley, Duchess, and the kittens finally return to Madame's mansion, but Edgar finds them first and places them into a sack, planning to ship them off to Timbuktu before Madame can find the cats. Roquefort, the mouse, is able to catch up with O'Malley at the request of Duchess, and O'Malley then sends Roquefort to fetch Scat Cat as backup before returning to the mansion. Roquefort struggles to explain the situation to Scat Cat and the rest of the alley cats, even bumbling and fumbling over O'Malley's name. Eventually, Roquefort is able to persuade the cats to follow him to O'Malley's aid. O'Malley, the alley cats, and Frou Frou fight off Edgar, while Roquefort frees Duchess and the kittens. At the end of the fight, Edgar gets locked in his own packing case and sent to Timbuktu himself, never to be seen or heard from again. The Aristocats then return to Madame Adelaide, who, ignorant for the real reason of Edgar's departure, rewrites her will in order to exclude him. Madame then adopts O'Malley into the family and decides to establish a charity foundation in order to house the stray cats of Paris in the mansion. Scat Cat and his gang are the first ones to move in, and they reprise their song so loudly to end our film that Napoleon and Lafayette can hear it out in the countryside. And the two dogs argue over the fact that it's the end of the movie and who gets to tell us that it's the end of the movie. Aristocats, man, it's a really, really cute tale. I adore this story. I love O'Malley, Phil Harris in that role. You know, granted, his more known characters for Disney are as bears, Baloo and Jungle Book, Little John and Robin Hood. You know, his little triple feature are bookended by him as bears. But I think the Aristocats and his performance as O'Malley, he kind of brings that cool factor of Baloo with a little bit of game to the role of O'Malley and the way he's able to charm Duchess and pick up on her and kind of become a father figure to the three kittens and become a part of that family, if you will. It's such a cute tale. My daughter, when she was a little bit younger, took dance classes. And one year for her dance performance, they danced to not the Disney version, but a cover of Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. So there's that little connection to the film and me within this story. And it's just such a great, great little tale, a little love story, little adventure story, a little bit of everything all rolled up into one in this one. And considering how it kind of kicks off the Bronze Age and the Dark Age, you kind of have some high hopes for films coming off the heels of the Aristocats. But unfortunately, in my opinion, and we'll get deeper into that as we go on, I feel like some of the films just don't hold up to the level that we started out with here, coming off the Jungle Book and the Aristocats, and even Robin Hood, which I'll get into more tomorrow. But the Aristocats, I really enjoy. The songs are great. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, obviously iconic. Scales and Arpeggios, though, is very, very underrated. The song that Marie sings as Berlioz plays the piano. Very, very cute and underrated song. I simply just adore her voice on that one. It's just so adorable. When it comes to my ranking for the Aristocats, it's not a perfect movie. I can't give it 5 stars, but it's pretty close. I give the Aristocats 4.5 out of 5. Again, I feel it's a great kickoff to the Bronze Age, the Dark Ages, and it's just sad, in my opinion, that as we go on, and granted, my opinion could change as we go on, because keep in mind, I haven't seen some of these movies, but from what I know about this era, it's just sad that the quality of films don't stay on the level of the Aristocats and even Robin Hood, which we'll get to tomorrow. 4.5 stars for me out of this one. Don't forget to get out there. Get those hashtags trending for me. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Don't forget to get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get you your Renegade J.J. Williams shirt, your Dad's Not Always on Wrestling shirt, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official merchandise of the Jeff Meacham Network. You've got 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, so much more. You can even get Meachamania and the Renegade J.J. Williams in tank top forms. It's summertime, man. It's been in the triple digits out here where I am. So trying to record these essentially in a garage, which is my studio. Triple digits has been a nightmare. but I'm still churning out the product for you, my loyal viewers. I hope you appreciate it. If you do, do what that ticker says. Go to that PayPal, send me a little donation, or go to the Linktree link, purchase one of the movies off my Amazon movie wish list. Anything you can do to support me be greatly appreciated during this time that I'm not monetized, so I'm not making any money off of YouTube for the product and the content that I'm putting out there. So if you enjoy my hard work, if you enjoy my dedication and devotion to putting up content daily for you guys to enjoy, once again, go to that PayPal, however much you can spare, $1, $2, greatly appreciate it. Or go to that link tree, purchase a movie off my wish list. When I get it, open it on Renegade Recap. I'll give you a shout out live on the air. And then when I actually get to cover the film inside my theme months, give you another shout out. That way you guys get the credit you deserve for helping to support me. Tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, when I will be bringing you yet another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. Make sure you tune in as we take a trip to Sherwood Forest and Robin Hood from 1973 in the Walt Disney Animation Studios, featuring the voice talents of Brian Bedford, Monica Evans, Phil Harris, Roger Miller, Andy Devine, Peter Ustinov, Pat Buttram, George Lindsay, and J. Pat O'Malley. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow when we take a look at the lore told through the eyes of Walt Disney Animation Studios and the forest creatures of Robin Hood. Definitely an all-time favorite. We'll just get that out there right now. But tomorrow we'll examine, break it down as we do every day right here on Renegades Reviews. To all the people that tuned in for the premiere, leaving your comments over here as we go, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. To all you guys that tuned in a little bit later, watching on demand, leaving your comments down here. Once again, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate all you guys that tune in on a daily basis and enjoy my content and my material. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.